Alright, first and foremost, all honors and praises belong to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahabashai, Bahasham, Yahabashai, Bahasham, Mahavakar Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahawah. His Son's name is Yahabashai, in who I reverence and honors to the elder apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days. Alright? This is all vanity. It's all vanity. Alright? Let's start at Ecclesiastes 4. And there's a lot. Let's start at chapter 4. Let's start at verse 6. Better is it to have handful with quietness, to have much with quietness, right, and peace, than both hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Because you could also have a lot of things and still be vexated in spirit, and you can have a lot of things but still be at peace with Yahweh Shai. And I returned and saw vanity under the sun, right? On earth there is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he have neither child nor brother, yet there is no end of his labor. So this man doesn't have no child, no brother by him, yet there is no end of his labor, neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor and bereave my soul for good? This is also vanity, yet it is sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. So if you have another brother that you can link up with and teach, why? Because there is what? Much reward for their labor, right? For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he have not another to help him up. So yeah, when you're by yourself, it can be more challenging. And it says woe to him because he has another not to what, help him up. And that's why we got to pray for what, a stronger spirit. Because when you have two, at least your brother can what, pick you up. And again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him. And threefold cord is not quickly broken. So a strong chain, a strong knitted chain, link is not easily broken. And that's what consists of the brotherhood. It says, better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king. Right? So it's to be better poor and wise. And the scriptures talk about the poor and wise man that delivered that city, yet his wisdom was not remembered. Better is a poor and wise child than an old and foolish king, who will no more be admonished. Because you have men, they get to a certain age and they say, well, I've been in the industry 30 plus years, and they can't be told. So that's a king that doesn't want to be admonished. Alright? But the main point we want to go into is the vanity of this world. Alright? This is Ecclesiastes 6 and 7. All the labor of man is for his mouth. So when you labor, what is it for? Your food, to fill your belly. And yet his appetite is not filled. Why? Because you got to go out and what? Get some more food. That's why his appetite is still not filled. And that goes back to what? Those that appetites, they were not filled in the wilderness. Actually, no, they were filled. They were filled with the physical, right? The loaves of bread, the fish, and even in the wilderness, they were filled, right? They were sustained with the physical, but in terms of the spiritual, they lacked, which is Yahweh Shai. For what have the wise man more than the fool? What have the poor than knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. Better is it to have what the sighting of the eyes and the wandering of desire, which is lust. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Because if you don't put a tab on your lust, you're always going to be chasing it. Right? That which have been named already. That have been is named already, and that is known, that is man. Right? So the elects, they were already named, they were already predestined. Okay? All the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow, for who can tell a man what shall be after him afterwards are the son. It's all vanity, right? You may even have a son or a daughter. You don't know what they're going to grow up to be. Excuse me, just a minute. Jesus is 7. And it's all vanity. It's all vanity. Let's go to Ecclesiastes 1 and 13. I gave my heart to seek and to search out wisdom. That's what Solomon done. You know, on a full scale. All wisdom of plants, of animals, of ants, birds, the beasts of the field, all these things. To search out all wisdom, how the skies are, the circuits. Basically everything. Women. Masonry. Masonry actually stemmed from Solomon. Right? Concerning all things that are done under heaven. Everything. So Solomon, he was the wisest man in the East. Not Job. Job was second to them. Right? That's like our richest man in the East. Second to that was Job. So he gave himself to what? Search out and to seek all wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. In other words, the operation of how things work. This sore travail have the Most High given the sons of men to be exercised therewith, and it's a sore travail. That's pain. That wasn't an easy thing. Figuring out how everything works. Bro, that's tiresome, that's laborsome. That's why it says a sore travail. And I have seen all the works that are done under the sun. He saw all, not some, all the works that were done underneath the sun. And behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Solomon came to that conclusion. I have knowledge in this, I have wisdom in this, but all of it was vexation of spirit. And this is the time of the rulership of King Solomon. How long was it? Was it 40 years of rulership? Rat which is crooked cannot be made straight. So you ain't gonna make Esau straight, because he's crooked, he's corrupt. And that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with my own heart, saying, lo, I am come to great estate. Alright? Great estate. Okay, that great estate was of great wealth. And have gotten more wisdom than all that had been before me in Jerusalem. Yeah, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge. You know the key thing it said? It had great experience. And experience means to try out. So he was tried out. That's how we knew how everything worked, because he tried it out. Right? And I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. And I perceived that this is also a vexation of spirit. Right? So this show was Solomon doing certain things that would be considered foolish. Yeah, because he gave his heart to know it. He studied foolishness, madness and folly. What it really leads to. Does it really bring joy to the spirit? Okay. And it says, I perceive that this is also a vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief. You ever wonder why some of you are grieved? You ever watch some of you, and you want to be grieved for the right thing, right? for the right thing, because you don't want to come to the truth. Well, oh, my boss is giving me a hard time, so let me vent out on a lesson. No. The scriptures, with much wisdom comes much grief, because you're learning of the more of Yahawah, more how this world is, so you become more grieved. Okay. With wisdom, it's much grief, and he that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow. So you're going to have grief, and you're going to increase in sorrow. And Solomon experienced that also as Yahawah, right? Did not Yahawah, wasn't he acquainted with what grief and sorrows? This is what you're going to experience. Chapter 2, I said in my heart, go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Let me check the time. Go to now, I'll prove thee with mirth. Having fun. Right? Therefore, enjoy pleasure. And behold, this is also vanity. So Solomon experienced that. Pleasure. Remember, he had singers. All of that. Bands. Right? And mirth is fun. About having fun. I said of laughter, it is mad. And guess what? The brothers in truth, we've even experienced that. Before you woke up to the truth, what was you doing? Having fun. Pleasing your flesh. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? And laughter is mad. You see these people, a lot of these people, I'll tell you the truth, a lot of these people that laugh all the time, they don't really feel like that. That's a demon. Right? All the time you're laughing. And you know, you have exceptions. Asher, because Asher means happy am I, right? But all the time, in hell, in your oppression, right? Laughter is mad. Okay? Laughter is mad. Why? Because after that laughter, what is there? Sorrow. Living in this man's kingdom, what comes after sorrow? You might laugh a couple seconds, might be 5, 10, not even 10 seconds. About 5, 10 seconds and back to what? Serious. Alright? These people are laughing at their own oppression. They're happy with their own, that means they're happy with their own oppression. Right? I said laughter is mad and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine. So Solomon was a tester of wines, yet acquainting my heart with wisdom. So it's not that wisdom left him. Wisdom never left him. It was always with him. Because part of that wisdom was trying these things out to see what works. Right? Trial and error. And to lay hold. Embarrassment, and yet acquainting my heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, foolishness, till I might see what was good for the sons of men, which they should do under heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works. Right? So Solomon wanted to come to the conclusion, what's the best thing for man to do while he's living? And I made me great works. Just how the people are doing right now. Right? And I builded me houses and planted me vineyards. Just like people are doing today. Building, building, building. Right? They're building, but they're not building the inward man. They're not building themselves. Right? And it says, and builded me houses and planted me vineyards. Right? Different flowers. So we had knowledge of different flowers, plants. And I made me gardens and orchards. And I planted trees in them. Of all kind of fruits. Whew! Trees. Planting trees. You know how long it takes to actually, for a tree to actually fully, long time. Right? And planting me trees in them and all kinds of fruits. And it takes knowledge. Fruits. Not all fruits are the same. Right? And it takes time, and it takes different levels of dirt, heat, water for certain fruits. Certain seeds need to be watered differently. Need to be put in different type of soil. Need to be buried deeper, some more shallower, some deeper. So Solomon had knowledge in all these things. And it says, and made me pools of water, to water wherewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. Right? So his trees were watered by what pools he would make. Like little ridges. Right? That would go past what? The trees. Kind of like a little lake. Right? Verse 7. I got me servants and maidens that had servants born in my house. Solomon also had that. Servants, maidens, right? Born in his house. Also had great possessions of great and small cattle above. All that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold. Right? And this is when he sent out, I forgot who it was. It was the Canaanites. It was the Canaanites, so they, one of them, right? To fetch him gold and silver from what? Britain and different parts of Europe and tin. Right? And I gathered me silver and gold and peculiar different treasure of kings. The treasures of the different provinces. Remember, because they were tribute to Solomon. And of provinces, and I get me men singers and women singers. And the lights. And what's that for? Entertainment. That's for the flesh, right? And the delights of sons of men as musical instruments. Excuse me just a minute. And rats of all sorts. So I was great and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. So it says he was great and he increased the all that were before him in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, so he didn't lose that. The part of that wisdom was trying these things out and seeing what was profitable for man in the spirit. And whatsoever my eyes desired, I kept not from them. Right? I withheld not my heart for many joy. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. When I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labor to do, and behold, was all vanity and vexation of spirits. He said all of it. So we read all those things, right? And we can equate this to this life today. And there was no profit under the sun when it comes to what? The fleshly things. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and malice and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which ye have already done. When I saw the wisdom that excelleth folly, and far as light excelleth darkness. So wisdom will always what? Manifest over folly and darkness. Right? A wise man's eyes are in his head, in his mind. He ain't always talking what he thinks, what's on his mind. But a fool walketh in darkness. I myself perceive also that one event happened them to all. We were all fools at one point. Right? Verse 17, therefore I hated life, because the work that was wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirits. Yeah, I hated all my labor which I should have taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be hereafter me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? And even that, you may have built up a good foundation, right? Strong foundation, buildings, this, that, and you may leave it to a son who has no wisdom, and he ruins it all. In other words, he ruins your whole legacy of what you built. And that's why Solomon said that. Yet he shall have ruled over all my labor, wherein I have labored, wherein I have shown myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. And when you go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 12, what was the conclusion? Fear Yahawah, Yahawah, and keep his commandments. That's what the conclusion he came to. That's the whole duty of man. And today we're not keeping all his commandments. And whoever's saying that today, they're lying. But we do it to the best of our ability. Alright? And I quickly want to go to Luke 12 and jump straight to, I'm not going to read all of it. It's about the covetous man. And 17, he thought with himself, saying, what should I do, because I have no room to bestow my fruits? Right? Self-serving. And you notice, because it said I, my. And he said, this is what I do, I will pull down my barns and build greater, and there will bestow all my fruits. I'm going to put all my fruits in there, and my goods, and I will say to my soul, soul that has much goods laid up for many years, take thine ease and drink and be merry. But the Most High, right? But the Most High said unto him, thou fool, risk not thy soul may be required of thee. Then know who those things shall be which thou hast provided. Who's he gonna go? Then who's he gonna go to? That's why we want to keep our mind focused on what? The spiritual things. So is he that layeth up treasure for himself and is not rich towards the Most High. That's why it's so key to be rich towards Yahawah Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. Check if there's anything else. Timothy's. Bear me just a minute. Alright, this Timothy's, and this is 1 Timothy 6. Right? It says, verse 17, charge them that are rich in this world, that they be not high-minded. So you can have a brother that's somewhat rich in this world, but guess what? His mind is still focused on Yahweh Shai. That doesn't get in his way. But they be not high-minded. Right? They're the helicopters right over my head. Nor trust in uncertain riches. Right? So we don't trust in uncertain, because these riches are uncertain. Right? And this whole economy is being crushed. Look what's going on with the pound. Right? And it so happens to be when Liz comes in to Parliament, whatever her name is. Lizzie. Right? But in the living power who give us richly all things to enjoy, which is his words. And they do good, and they that be rich in good works, ready to distribute, willing to communicate. That's what we want to be rich in, this word, faith. Laying up in store for themselves a good foundation against the time to come, what? The destruction. But they may lay the hold on eternal lives. This is what we're going to do. Lay hold on risks, because this is what's going to profit, as Solomon said. So with this lesson, I hope this was edifying. And until the next time, shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom.